ठाकुर की जय।
जय।
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय।
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
जय।
रामन धाम की जय,
जय।
मथुरा धाम की जय, श्री रामपुर धाम की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय,
जय।
तुलसी देवी की जय, गंगा यमुना माई की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, निताई गौर पवनंदे। हरि हरि बोल। All glory to the assembled devotees.
हरे
All glory
कृष्णा।
to the assembled devotees.
हरे
All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga. तमाम शिपदाया कृष्ण मित्र स्मृति कृष्ण कृष्ण नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी संकल्पनाया प्रपादित यदि सुविधा सुगम संतोष वाक्यानुवादी नमस्कार नवजय सिंह भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारि शिष्य सिंहवाणी तारिणी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text 11. Sri Bhagavan Vedaham antarmanasi psitam te dadhami yatta duravapam anyay tatre pura visvashijam vasanam madsiddhi kamena vasotva yesat vedaham antarmanasi Sitam dadami yattaturavapam anyay Tatve pura visvasijam vasunam Matsidim kamena vasu tvayista Vedaham antarmanasi Sitam te dadami yattaturavapam anyay Tatve pura visvasijam vasunam Matsiddhi kamena vaso tvayesta. Please repeat. Would you want to repeat? Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा।
Yeah, please.
श्री भगवान उवाच वेदाहमन्तर्मनसि क्षितं ते ददामि यत्तद् दुरवापम् अन्यै सत्रे पुरा सृजं वसूनां मत्सिद्धिकामेन वसो त्वयेष्टिता। हरे कृष्ण।
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Vedaham Manasipsitam Te Dadami Yata Durvapamanye Satre Pura Vishusrizam Vasunam Matsiddhi Kamena Vasutuyashtaha.
Hare Krishna. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Vedaham Antar Manasi Spitam Te Tadami Durabhapam Anya Satre Pura Vishwasriyam Bhasunam Matsiddhi Kamena Traya Yashataha. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Okay.
श्री भगवान उवाच वेदाहम् अन्तर्मनसि उपस्थितं ते ददामि यत्तदुर्वापम् अन्याये सत्रे पुरा विश्वसृजा वसूनां मत सिद्धि कामेन वसो त्वयेष्टः। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू।
Okay. Word to word translation. Anybody else? Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the personality of Godhead. Veda, no, aham, I, anta, within, manasi, the mind, ipsitam, what you desired, te, yo, dadami, I give you. Yat, which is, tat, that, duravapam, very difficult to achieve. Anyai, by others. Satre, in sacrifice. Pura, in the days of yours. Vishwa, Srijam, of those who expanded this creation. Vasunam, of the Vasu. Matsidim Kamena, with the desire to achieve my association. Vaso, O Vasu, Tvaya, by you, Ista, ultimate goal of life. Translation by the Evangelist A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. O Vasu, I know from within your mind what you desired in the days of yore, when the Vasus and other demigods responsible for expanding the universal affairs performed sacrifices. You particularly desired to achieve my association. This is very difficult for others to obtain, but I award it you. I award it unto you. Purport. May divine grace sit Prabhupada. Uddhava is one of the eternal associates of the Lord, and the plenary portion of Uddhava was one of the 8 Vasus in the days of yore. The 8 Vasus and the demigods in the upper planetary system were responsible for the management of the universal affairs, perform a sacrifice in the days of yore, designed to fulfill the respective ultimate goal in life. At that time, an expansion of Uddhava, acting as one of the Vasus, desired to become an associate of the Lord. The Lord knew this because He is present in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma, the super consciousness. The super consciousness. In everyone's heart, there is the representation of super consciousness, who gives memory to the partial consciousness of every living entity. The living entity as partial consciousness forget incidents of his past, where the superconsciousness remind him how to act in terms of his past cultivation of knowledge. Bhagavad Gita confirms this fact in various ways. Ye yatamam prapanchante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. Sarvasya chaham hridesani vistu matasmite jnanam apohanam cha 15:15 Bhagavad Gita. Everyone is at liberty to desire as he likes, but the desire is fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. Everyone is independent to think or desire, but the fulfillment of one desire depends on the Supreme Will. This law is expressed as man proposes, God disposes. In the days of yore, when the demigod and Vasu performed sacrifice, Uddhava, as one of the Vasus, desired to enter into the association of the Lord, which is very difficult for those busy in empiric philosophical speculation or fruitive activities. Such persons are particularly practically no information of the fact about becoming an associate of the Lord. Only the pure devotee can know, by the mercy of the Lord, that the personal association of the Lord is the highest perfection of life. The Lord assured Uddhava that he would fulfill his desire. It appears that when the Lord informed him about by his indication to Uddhava, the great saint Maitreya finally became aware of the importance of entering into the association of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Chaitanyamanovistam Sadhutam Bhutale Sukadama Indradati Sakadastikam Unam Siku Sita Padakavalam Sikayam Sikayam Sakasistam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishwapadatam Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Bhakta Kanchana Gaurandira Hare Vindavani Sri Vishwabhanu Hare Devi Pranami Hare Priya Sakapatari Kocha Kripa Sindhya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhami Vaishnava Vishwamata Krishna Vishaya Vipale Kote Krishna Krishna Nitinam Dear uh, Assembly devotees, thank you for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class, another Bhagavatam class. We're continuing reading Canto 3, chapter 4, text 11. So the main thing is about that, like so about great devotees, talking about great devotees, like the first line only of the thing Prabhupada say, like about Uddhava. Uddhava is the eternal associate of the Lord. So Uddhava, so in his incarnation, previously when he was one of the 8 Vasus, the 8 Vasus is that, when King Santanu was married to Ganga Mata. So she gave birth to 8 sons, and because they have to come to this material world due to some reason, so Ganga Mata asked Santanu that after the birth of any of his sons, Santanu should not question her about anything. So after every birth of each son, she goes and just throws them in the ocean. And the 8 sons, then Santanu, say why is he doing that? He interferes and Ganga just disappeared because that was that what they asked. If you ever question me, I'm going to go away from your life. So the 8th one was Bhishma
Vishma.
Pitama, the great grandfather of Arjun, great grandfather or Arjun and the Pandava and the Kuru. So actually he said like the Vasu here, when Uddhava also was one of the Vasus in his previous life, previously. And when he was in this, actually this is 8 Vasus and the demigod, they are they who live in the upper planetary system, they are responsible for the management of this universal. So they all devotees of the Lord, they help the Lord in managing all the universal affairs. But and also, they have a lot of desires. One of the Vasus, whose expansion of Uddhava desires to become, associate of the Lord. And Prabhupada also say to become an associate of the Lord is very, very difficult. They have to perform so many sacrifices, in order to become associate of the Lord. And I was listening to a lecture about on this class from one Prabhu. He was talking about, whatever we desires, in a past life, we got the present life. So there's two kind of desires. One is devotional desire, and another one is non-devotional desire. I say in so many scriptures, like the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Garga Samhita, it is mentioned, like different devotees, whatever the desires in the previous life they got. And one of the example is said, uh, like the washerman who questioned about Sita's chastity. You know, one day his wife went out and didn't come home, and when his wife came home, he told home, I'm not going to accept you. I'm not like Lord Rama accepted his wife even after being in exile. But after Sita, went to Ravana's house for so many days, and he made a very great offenses to the Lord. So on that one, during the incarnation of Lord Rama, that washerman didn't get punished for his action for offending Lord Rama. But in the incarnation of Lord Krishna, he got punished. You remember when Krishna was going, Akrura came and take Krishna to Mathura, and Krishna saw the washerman and he asked for the clothes and he refused. He said that belonged to King Kamsa. I cannot give you any of these clothes. Then Lord Krishna just kill him. You know, and that the reaction he got. So because and another example is Kubja. Kubja in her previous life, she was Supanaka, and she desired to be the consort of Lord Rama. But Lord Rama said, no, you can approach Lakshman, and Lakshman returned say, no, how can I do that? And they chop you. So she performed so much sacrifices. They said in Bhagavad Samhita that she performed so much sacrifice like for thousands of years. Then she got the body of Kupcha. Then when Krishna again in the past time when Krishna came, were going to meet before meeting Kamsa, he met Kupcha. Kupcha were responsible for for doing the sandalwood, to the king. So Krishna asked him. Then she served Krishna by applying sandalwood on his to Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna said, okay, I'm going to fulfill this. He said, what do you want? And Krishna just lifted him up and she became a very beautiful woman. And she desires to have the association of Krishna. Then Krishna fulfilled her desires. And another example is the sages of Dandakaranya during Lord Ram pastime. They all desired to become, close associate of Ram, like his consort. Then Lord Ram told them, in this life, I'm Maryada Purushotam, I'm Ekapatni. I promise to be only one man wife, no, not so many wives. No. So I cannot have so many wives in this lifetime, but in next lifetime I can accept all of you. They're all great devotees. So in the next life they all become the gopis of Vrindavan. So in this way, whatever you desire in your previous life, and especially the demigod, they always wanted to have to be associated with the Lord. And for Jumna also, you know, he became, he became the very close associate of the Lord. And there's a lot, lot everywhere, and so many chapters in Bhagavatam. Now we talk about the glories of Uddhava, and later on I'm going to read that. And also it is mentioned that the Lord is within the heart of all living entities. He knows the desires. Whatever we desire, the Lord, fulfills the desires. They say, Yigatamam, Bhagavad Gita 4:11. Iyatamam prapanjante tam tataiva bhajamiham. How you surrender unto me, I fulfill, I reciprocate in that way. Also, he said the famous verse in, like the God, the Lord is always within the heart. He says, Sarva Sachaham Ridisani Vistu Mata Sprinti Yana Apohanam Cha. So that's Bhagavad Gita 15:15. So he said, you know, I'm reside in everyone's heart. For me, come, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So the Lord, He remembers everything, but we, we forget. After we take birth in this natural body, we forget what we did in our previous life. Prabhupada also said, we don't even remember what we did like 1 hour ago sometime, or 2 hours ago, or 1 day ago. We don't remember exactly what we did. Because the Lord is always present in everyone's heart. And He remembers all our desires, all our, devotional desires, all our non-devotional desires, everything. So we can escape from the Lord. Like as it is said, like there's two birds sitting in a tree. One is a witness and one is a fruity worker. One is eating the fruit and the other one is just witnessing. The Lord doesn't interfere also with the independent or the living entities. So the Lord, and if you really like want to be close to the Lord, want to associate with the Lord make arrangement how you can associate with Him, how you can become, you know, His dear devotees. So, so we can see from for example, like he said, everyone is at liberty to desire as they like, but the desire is fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. So even we want to desire, and like we said, we make so many plans sometime, in life, but but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But everything is happened by the will of the Lord. Without the will of the Lord, nothing happened. They said, not even a leaf can move without the will of the Lord, because the Lord, is a provider of everything. It- you know, that Prabhupada says the law is expressed. This law is expressed as man proposes, God disposes. Um, and Vidura is another, that's the talk of Vidura and they're all great devotees. They approached Maitreya, then they met Uddhava, and Uddhava is much younger to them. Then Uddhava offered obeisances to them, and they were inquiring about our Lord Krishna. During the departure of Lord Krishna, Uddhava became very, very broken, because he was always close to Krishna. He was like an advisor to Krishna. He's a cousin brother of Krishna, and he's one of the highest, topmost devotee of Krishna. So there's so many different grade of devotee, but he is next to Radha. The Gopi is the highest, and Radhani is the highest. But he is just, just first come Uddhava, then come the Gopis. The Gopis are highest. And he was so close to Krishna. He always serving Krishna. And it is said in Bhagavatam that during his childhood, and, I'm going to read that. It says, a great devotee Deva came back from the abode of the Lord to human plane, and wiping his eyes, he awakened his remembrance of his past and spoke to Vidura in a pleasing mood. When Uddhava was fully absorbed in transcendent ecstasy of God, he actually forgot all about external world. The pure devotee lives constantly in the abode of the Lord, even in the present body, which is apparently belong to this world. The pure devotee is not exactly on the bodily plane, since he is absorbed in the transcendental thought of the Supreme. When Uddhava wanted to speak to Vidura, He came down from the abode of the Lord Dwarka to this material plane of human being. Even though a pure devotee is present on the mortal planet, he is here in relation to the Lord, the engagement in the transcendental loving service, not for any material cause. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 326, 326. And also it says, the devotee gardener is in touch with the abode of the Lord, even from the material plane, by dint of performing devotional service to the Lord, simply by hearing and chanting. As a creeper takes shelter of another stronger tree, similarly the creeper of devotional service, nourished by the devotee, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and thus become fixed. When the creeper is fixed, then the fruit of the creeper comes into existence, and the gardener who nourishes it is able to enjoy the fruit of love, and his life becomes successful. That Uddhava attains the stage is evident from his dealing. He could simultaneously reach the supreme planet and still appear in the world. So that the he was so exalted. Uddhava was really very exalted devotee of the Lord, and he was, from his very childhood, he was always thinking of the Lord. Is that was mentioned also in Bhagavatam 3:23, that Uddhava serves the Lord from childhood, and in his old age, that attitude of service never slackened. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, that one remembered all about him. So, who is really Uddhava? Uddhava is a cousin brother. Hari is a cousin brother of Krishna. Like Vasudev, they said, the father is Krishna, has a brother, and his brother's son is Uddhava. Also, Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, and he was very, very erudite scholar in logic, and he was very, very, very learned. And another thing he said, Uddhava, from his very birth, Uddhava was a natural devotee of the Lord. He is an eternally liberated soul, a Nitya Siddha. I said, from natural instinct, he used to serve the Lord Krishna. Even in his childhood, he plays with dolls in the form of Krishna. He would serve the doll by dressing, feeding, and worshipping them. And thus he was constantly absorbed in the play of transcendental realization. This is a sign of eternally liberated soul. An eternally liberated soul is a devotee of the Lord who never forgets him. Like you say, even Srila Prabhupada mentioned, all his childhood, all his life, he is Krishna conscious. From his very childhood, his father has the deities, beautiful deities of Radha Krishna, the name Radha Govinda, and he had the Ratha Yatra, Lord Jagannath. So Srila Prabhupada, who is such an exalted devotee who gave us Krishna consciousness, he was always Krishna consciousness. That's another, living example. And also we do, Uddhava was one of them. Like now we have, children, we have so many, beautiful deities of Krishna. Sometimes there's a devotee. I know some nice devotees, the children, they will pretend they were doing aartis, they're offering food to Krishna, even in very childhood. So these births are very, 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 very auspicious, very, very rare. Those who have natural devotee of the Lord. You don't have to force them to become devotees, or you have to do that. You have to bow down to Krishna. You have to chant Krishna name. It's become natural for them. So this is exalted devotee. So even nowadays, we see some devotees. They always they don't have any other desire for material life. They just want only to engage in Krishna consciousness, thinking of Krishna. So this is all due to the mercy of the spiritual master, you know, of of the Guru, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, and by following the footsteps of the all the previous acharyas, how they were always absorbing Krishna consciousness. This can help us, have some desires that I wish I become Krishna consciousness like that. I wish I can always singing of Krishna and don't, you know, be fully absorbed in Krishna. But but it's possible. Some people say no, that is you can say it, but for me it easily said than done. But by practice of Krishna consciousness, the process of Krishna consciousness is not impossible. you know and just remember, like previously how we were so absorbed in material life, and just by the association with the devotees, by Prabhupada books, by coming to ISKCON temple, by regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, has our heart has changed and we have little inclination to serve Krishna. What if we just fully absorb our mind in Krishna, so we can become like great devotees? We can follow the footsteps of Uddhava, who is always like remembering Krishna. We cannot become Uddhava. He's a very special, they were special devotees. But by following the footsteps, we can get inspiration, how we can one day, we have hope against hope that one day we can become the eternal associate of the Lord. You And Vidura, like one, Uddhava didn't have any other desires. His desire is only just to serve Krishna. So also we say Uddhava helped Krishna before going to kill Jarasandha. Uddhava, as an advisor, you know, told Krishna and the Pandava, the two brothers, I think Arjuna and Bhima, he advised them how to kill, Jarasandha. Because Jarasandha, he attacked the city of Dwarka so many times. Then, then I think I read that Uddhava advised them how to get rid of Jarasandha. And Prabhupada also says the symptoms of the highest order of devotional life were observed by Vidura, an experienced devotee of the Lord, and he confirmed Uddhava's perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Ecstatic bodily change are manifested from the spiritual plane are not artificial expression developed by practice. There are three different stages of development in devotional service. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, the chief disciple of Chaitanya, this transcendental symptom displayed by pure devotees like Uddhava are systematically described. We have written a summary study of Bhagavad Prabhupada said, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu entitled The Nectar of Devotion, and one may consult his book for more detail on the science of devotional service. So when that like in Bhakti Rasamrita we say when one become a pure devotee, what is the symptom you can see, and different symptoms are explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He is a great devotee, Uddhava, soon came from the abode of the Lord to the human plane. And Another point I want to discuss is that the disappearance of Krishna. During the disappearance of Krishna, and Uddhava was really heartbroken. You know, and he said that the disappearance of the Krishna Sun may explain as follows, according to the commentary of Sivisvanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vidura was struck with sorrow when he got the hint of annihilation of the great Yadu dynasty. So, Vidura, he was on pilgrimage during whatever was the fighting going on. So he was asking Uddhava about the news of the Yadu, and Uddhava was telling Vidura, because he is like an uncle to him, and he told him that the Yadu dynasty is destroyed, and also the Kuru dynasty is destroyed. So Uddhava could understand the grief of Vidura. Vidura was very aggrieved. Therefore, he first of all wanted to sympathize with him by saying that there's a sense that everyone is in darkness. So Krishna is compared to the sun now. When Krishna disappears, like the senses, that everything is like in darkness. They could not even, and Uddhava, and since the entire world merged in darkness of grief, neither Vidura nor Uddhava nor anyone else could be happy. Uddhava was very much as Vidura. There was nothing further to be said about their welfare. So, so say Uddhava lamented for the unfortunate person of the world who could not recognize Lord Krishna in spite of seeing his all transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of the appearance within the prison bar of King Kamsa up to the Mausala Leela. Mausala Leela means the disappearance, Leela of Krishna. So this is nicely explained in the 11th canto. If you guys want to read, if you devotees want to read about the disappearance of Lord Krishna, you can read the Mausala Leela, how Krishna disappeared from this material world. Although he exhibited his potency as a personality of God of six opulence of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish person of the world could not understand that he was the supreme. So as a devotee, they always very compassion, and you can see now Uddhava also, he feel, like he's very compassionate, and he lamented for people who doesn't take to Krishna consciousness. Really great devotee like Srila Prabhupada, like they came, they came down just to give Krishna to everyone. And but unfortunately, like a lot of people didn't take to Krishna consciousness, and devotee feel very, sorry, they feel very, like compassionate to these people who doesn't take to Krishna consciousness, because they know everybody is suffering in this material world, and what is missing, Srila Prabhupada also is a Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. He said all the universities, everywhere they're teaching so many material knowledge, but one thing is lacking. They're not teaching about God consciousness. And that's why people, even they have everything material, so-called material facilities, material enjoyment, but still they're never happy. Savaitum samparo dharma, the highest, religious activities is to is to render devotional service into the supreme personality of Godhead. That's the only way that people can be happy. Only when they take shelter of Krishna, they become Krishna consciousness. So what we have to do, like we got Krishna consciousness, we always have to remind ourselves, we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate to have Krishna consciousness, to have the association of Krishna, to have the association of Srimad Bhagavatam and the devotees of Krishna. We should always take advantage. Otherwise, we will have just to come back again and again to this material world. this material world, which is not a pleasant place to live for most of us. I think most of us, we know that this material world is not the best place, because there's always so much suffering going on, and people are so much always in anxiety. They get a little bit happiness here and there, but most of the time they're always depressed. Like we heard people say, "I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out." You know, and we and some people they hardly smile because they're always like in anxiety. You know, and everybody want to be happy. Everybody want to be blissful. But so many material impediments, so many material suffering come on the way, like prevent us to become happy. So how one can achieve the perfection of life only by becoming Krishna consciousness, by regularly hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord and practice devotional service. And hopefully one can come to the level of a pure devotee like Uddhava, who cannot live without a moment without thinking of Krishna, you know. And in that way they always like be blissful in the association of Krishna. And that to get the association of Krishna, it is said in the purport, is very rare, is very difficult. Whatever association we got, we have to take advantage and and try to remember Krishna in all the time, in everything that we do in this material world. Just try to remember Krishna if we want to become eternally happy, eternally an associate of Krishna, and get out of this material world. And he says that Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity when there's friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasen. Vasudeva and Ugrasen were Lord devotees, and Kamsa, representative of the Karmi, and Jnani was a non-devotee. Krishna is compared to the sun. He appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki and gradually satisfied the inhabitants of places surrounding Mathura. Just as the sun delivers the lotus flower in the morning, after gradually rising to the meridian of Dwarka, the Lord, like the sun, placing everything in darkness, are described by Uddhava. That Uddhava, is describing how, Krishna is the sun. When there's Krishna, there's always everything is his light. Everything is when there's no Krishna, everything is darkness. And also another pastime. Anybody remember any another pastime of Uddhava? Very famous.
Is it about bumblebee? Hare
Hmm?
Krishna. Is it about bumblebee?
Yeah, that's the famous one. Actually, yeah, you know what happened? What
Yeah,
what the
think
pastime?
a little bit I remember Radharani was suffering in separation from Krishna, and then Bumblebee I think brought message about Krishna, and that's a little bit I remember.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when Krishna was in Mathura, after killing Kamsa, he started living with Devaki and Vasudeva. So he left his dear devotees of Vrindavan, and they were feeling so much separation from him, and Krishna was always thinking of them. So he asked Uddhava to go there and console them. So because Uddhava, they said, I read that Uddhava was very, very close to Krishna. Like you said that if somebody wants to go to other country to tell some secret about the country, to make some deal about each country, they send one very like the Secretary of State, somebody who is very close to the government, somebody who is very confidential to discuss, about different things. Similarly, Krishna sent his most confidential devotee, who is Uddhava, to Vrindavan, to console. So then, when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, everybody saw that Krishna came back because he resembled Krishna so much that they think that Krishna came to Vrindavan. The first Uddhava went to Nanda Maharaj in Yasoda's house, and he stayed with them, for obeisances to them and tell them about Krishna. Then he went to meet the gopi and tell the gopi, when the gopi saw him, they become so bewildered. They think that Krishna came back, and Radharani, Radharani, he was like, she was very so much in separation of Krishna that she didn't even want to look at Uddhava, because that reminder of Krishna and creates so much grief to her just by seeing Uddhava. So he said then instead of talking to Uddhava directly, she started talking to Bumblebee and this, you know, rebuking and criticizing Krishna, for leaving her and the gopis and the resident of Vrindavan. So there's a nice pastime in the Krishna book. If one want to read it, they can read. They meet when Uddhava meet with the gopis and has Radharani and the gopi. Radharani was talking to a bumblebee instead of Uddhava. And Uddhava was a very Prabhupada. Uddhava also, after the departure of Krishna, it has as Krishna imparted Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. So Krishna also gave instruction to Uddhava called Uddhava Gita, you know, about different topic our spiritual life. So it says Sukadev Goswami said, O king, after discussing with Vidura the transcendental name, fame, qualities on the bank of young Uddhava was the one with great affliction. He paused the night as if a moment thereafter he went away. The word used here for Krishna is Viswamurti. Both Uddhava and Vidura were great affliction because of Krishna's departure. And the more they discussed about the transcendental name, fame, qualities of Krishna Lord, the more of the picture of the Lord became visible to them everywhere. Such visualization of the transcendental form of the Lord is neither false nor imaginary, but is factual actually. When the Lord is perceived in Viswamurti, it is that he loses his personality or transcendental eternal form. It is not that he loses his personality or transcendental form. He becomes visible in the same form everywhere. This is one nice point, and then I have to meditate on the beautiful form of the Lord, because the Lord is everywhere. Like like Prabhupada introduced the Archa Vigraha, the deity's form of the Lord. If you meditate on the deities, they're not different from the actual Krishna, like Prabhupada said, you know. When the Lord is perceived in Viswamurti, it is not that he loses his personality. He's the same Krishna, he's transcendental, eternal form, and it becomes visible in the same for everywhere from everywhere. So we are very fortunate also, and if you want to advance in spiritual life, we cannot see Krishna face to face, but Krishna is non-different from his Archa Vigraha, from his Murti form. We should meditate, why Krishna Prabhupada introduced, daily worship so that we can meditate on Krishna. We can always see Krishna, serve Krishna, cook for Krishna, making nice garland for Krishna, offering nice food to Krishna, sing for Krishna, take part, and come and have darshan. Why people they travel so many miles, like in Vrindavan now, all the devotees are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness. They are visiting the different places that Krishna performed pastime. And they visited so many temples and there's so many beautiful deities, they go and offer obeisances. So in this way, in this month of Kartik, there's so many devotees by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, you know, and Prabhupada and all the acharyas who established beautiful temples and beautiful deities. And devotees are taking advantage and absorbing the mind and always thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna. So the and whatever opportunity we get, we have to take advantage also, we should not, you know, if we really want to make advancement in spiritual life, and these are the thing given to us, we have to take advantage, like you said, and we should always meditate that, we're in the holy place of the Lord. Like me and Subharadi Mataji were talking today, like he said, her spiritual master said, wherever you are, you should always meditate upon the holy Dham of Vrindavan. Whenever there's Krishna is present everywhere. Like, he can be so far, so many miles away, but in your mind, if you meditate upon the holy Dham, upon the holy, upon the beautiful form of Krishna, Krishna will be present. In this way, Uddhava was always, even after the disappearance, like you said, Vidura and Uddhava, they were always meditating on the beautiful form of Krishna and always remembering his pastime, his qualities. Because all his pastimes, they were very transcendental. Janma karma chami divyam. His birth, his activities, they're all transcendental. So we can follow in the footsteps of the great devotees and always absorb our mind in Krishna consciousness, and and by serving all the devotees, like Vidura here, he offers so much respect, to all the devotees, like even Vidura and all, they were all great devotees of the Lord. But he said that Uddhava was considered the best among all devotees of that time. Therefore, he was directly instructed by the Lord Grace so that people might take advantage of Uddhava's knowledge after the disappearance of the Lord from the vision of the world. This is one of the reasons why Uddhava was advised to go to Bandarik ashram, where the Lord personally presented by Narayana deity. One who is transcendently advanced can gain direct inspiration from the temple deity, and thus the devotee of the Lord always takes shelter of a recognized temple of the Lord in order to make tangible advancement in transcendental knowledge by the grace of the Lord. So that's also very important for after that, like after the disappearance of the Yadu, then Uddhava also was in the Yadu dynasty. Why Krishna asked him why he didn't leave, and because Krishna had special mission for him, because he wanted him to impart a transcendental knowledge, you know. And after the departure of Krishna, Uddhava went to Bandarik ashram. I don't know, anybody know Bandarik ashram? It is in the Himalaya. It's a very beautiful place, where there's a lot of yogis, lot of
Is it Badrikashram?
yeah, Bandarik ashram. Yeah.
It is in Hare Krishna Mataji. It is in Himachal Pradesh. Yeah, and near Shimla in the Himachal Pradesh, and it's still
Yeah.
there.
It's
Still
still there.
there. People.
Yeah.
Winter they close it.
Yeah, the winters are closed because there's a lot of
No,
ice. It is in the Himalayas.
Ice breaking, snow falling.
Yeah.
no, that is different. Badrinath is different, and Badrika Ashram is different.
Mhm.
Ashram stays open. People live there.
The
Oh,
different
okay.
Badrinath and Badrinath ashram.
Yeah, they are different here. Badrinath, like Char Dham, Badrinath, Kedarnath.
Kedarnath and this.
Yeah,
Kedarnath, Bandari, yeah.
Kedarnath.
Yamunotri, Gangnotri. But this Badrika ashram is
Bandarika
different.
Ashram is in where?
It is in the near Shimla there in the Himachal Pradesh. We have to go in near Solan. It is in Solan in that
Okay.
area. Yeah, I think 2 years back I came to know about that. So I have met some people who go there every year. Uh, they they have guru over there and they do the preaching on this. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. You see, Uddhava is such in such transcendental positions as he is selected to be factual representative of the Lord in his bodily absence from his vision of the world. Such devotee of the Lord is never affected by material strength, intelligence, inventory, and situation. Such devotee of the Lord can withstand all the onslaught of material nature. Therefore, he is known as the Goswami. Only such Goswami can penetrate the mysteries of the Lord, transcendental loving relationship. Yeah, even the Lord is not present personally, but devotees are not affected because they see the Lord everywhere. That was the position of Uddhava. And they said he's never affected by the mood. Like we always affected by like you know, me personally. We are affected by the mode of nature. Sometimes we think of Krishna, sometimes we don't think of Krishna. Our mind is not always absorbed in the personality of Godhead. It is Krishna. Or that's the picture that the mothers. What is this, Mother Subarari? That's beautiful.
This is the card he had sent to all his disciples.
Yeah.
Dhawan. And on the back, let me see if I can. On the back, he wrote that. On the back, he wrote that you wherever you are, you can. Okay, let me. On the back, he wrote that wherever you are, you can see. You should think of, like we are doing, we are talking about Badrika Ashram today. We are here, but we can talk about all the.
Whenever you talk about Krishna, oh yeah. Oh, these who visit Vrindavan in the mood of service certainly.
Those who visit Vrindavan in a mood of service certainly receive special mercy. However, those who do not have the opportunity to physically visit Vrindavan can live there in their minds by sincerely chanting Hare Krishna, hearing from Srila Prabhupada's transcendental books, and serving the Sankirtan movement. And he quotes, if one is physically unable to go to Vrindavan, one should mentally live there. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 22:163.
That's very, very nice. It's so appropriate
Yes, yes.
for this verse also, it just correspond with this verse today.
And you see how the guru sort of is aware of what is going on in the disciples' mind. This is what I was thinking. The other day we were hearing in class, I don't remember who it was, but said Radharani's mercy has to be there for us to be able to go to dhams. And so that discussion is happening, that it's going on in my mind, that I'm not praying hard enough. That's why it is not happening. And then you get this card from him. This just came 2 days ago. And I thought that picture on the reverse is so appropriate. Just people in a subway in New York.
Yeah.
That, uh, you know, just going on a subway, holding on to the railing, and there you can think of Vrindavan.
Yeah. Whenever you are, like if you devotee, whenever they are, like come on, others try to remember Krishna.
Yes.
So we have to aspire for this to become like that, every day, aspire, or whatever position Krishna put us,
Yes.
Now also we have to remember Krishna.
Yes. And this is, I mean, I think one of the kids must have drawn, he must have asked them to, and it is just so perfect. You could be like this person and be sad and read the newspaper, or you could be happy and read Prabhupada's books. You know, so many choices available to us, but uh, we are fortunate that we have had this, we've been exposed to this, we have heard about this, we have the ability to attend these classes, these temples. He's made it available. He's made it available to everybody, but we have the choice, and we are making the choice, and we are, so and this today's class is also so perfect, is that consciousness should always be with Krishna, that we should try to always think about Krishna and be sincere in our chanting. So we we have the we have the good fortune of being told what is right, what is wrong. Now it's up to us to um,
I think like you said, the somehow also, when Krishna is imparting this knowledge to us, there's something for us to remind us.
yes,
So Krishna is within our heart,
yes,
one heart. We
yeah,
have 8 people here in class. Krishna wanted to give us a message through the medium of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why, if you want
yeah,
to hear from what Krishna wants to tell us, we should always read,
yeah,
you know, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita.
yeah.
I heard from some devotee every time, they want to know what really the super soul wants, they go and open one verse of the Bhagavad Gita.
Mm, mm.
You know, and they say Krishna, like it's really, instructing you from within what the
Yeah.
best thing to do.
And like you were reading in the purport, I mean, the super soul is there, Krishna is there, and he knows what is going on in your heart.
Yeah.
He and so
You cannot
sincerity is
explain.
where, yeah. So I might be saying out what I want to say or what I feel you should hear, but inside my heart is the actual truth, and he knows it.
Yeah,
I can cheat you, but I cannot cheat him.
yeah.
Uh, very
That's why
important.
it says we never alone. Krishna is always with us.
Yeah,
Like great
that,
devotees, they always, sing. They never feel alone. They always know that Krishna is within them.
mm,
Even they may look alone, like so called, materially, we look as the, oh, he's so lonely or something. We never alone. The super soul is always within us. But the thing we don't recognize it because we're covered by the material mode of nature.
yes. And then it also makes you think about your faith. If we had faith, if we had full faith, if we had concrete faith, we would not do other way of doing things, right? We would believe that Krishna is there within, and we could. But because that faith is still not,
Mature, not developed. Yeah.
yes, that is why we still try to,
We're struggling.
yes, and that is why.
Yayatamam papajati, how you surrender, I reward you accordingly.
Exactly. Yes, and that surrender. I mean, I used to wonder, what does it mean to surrender? Of course, I think Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Of course, he is. I'm not challenging that, but my actions are not showing that I'm accepting him as the Supreme, because I have not fully surrendered. I'm still trying to stay in control or trying to do things my way. So that means in the beginning, I used to really wonder what that surrender meant, because I felt I was already believing everything, and but that surrender hasn't happened fully. And
Mm.
so that means the faith has to be worked on. We still have to work on having full faith and having that full surrender. And that's when you see these Prabhupada disciples in the very beginning, how they were able to leave everything and follow Srila Prabhupada. they have come sort of close to surrender. Even they, I don't think are at full surrender, but they have come close. We are not leaving behind much to come to Krishna. I've left a few things, a few friends, a few family members, a few way of doing things.
Yeah.
A few things I have left behind, but not fully. And
But at the same time, if your family are favorable to your Krishna consciousness, you can be in this position as a family person and still,
yes,
practice Krishna consciousness, Like
absolutely.
that time when Srila Prabhupada started the mission, there was a
Mm,
need
yeah,
for
yeah.
people to fully dedicate their
Mm,
life to spread this mission.
mm,
The paradigm was different. And
yes,
now the paradigm is that so many nowadays most of the devotees they live in their own house and they still like spreading Krishna consciousness. They're still helping the
yes.
movement because they have a favorable family.
Yes, and you are right. In making your family members
Yeah,
also
yeah.
have faith in
Because
Krishna
because
equally.
they have Krishna also within their heart, somehow if you're in their house, you're cooking and feeding them prasadam and trying to put kirtan all the time, trying to make them hear about the holy name. Somehow or other, by you be a devotee, they can they can facilitate, they can facilitate, you
Yes,
know, they can take advantage of your association. That
and
means
you
you
are
have
right.
to become pure. You're supposed to become pure, you
Mhm.
know, you know, so that you can give something to your family member,
Yes,
and just by your association, it will remind them of Krishna, even they're not thinking of Krishna.
mhm.
That's also a mission,
Yes,
like you
yeah.
say, charity begin at home.
No,
Just
and then the way you said there is a paradigm shift. It's a dynamic movement. It's
yeah,
not, and from 25 years from now, it will be a little bit different, and we need to.
people are going to be different and sing
Yes,
as long they're following the principle is the same, but
yes,
something is a little bit different. It cannot be the same because
yes,
new
yes,
generation, new
yes,
set of mind,
yes,
and we have to accept of these
yes,
changes.
yes,
As long as we're not deviating from the basic principle of Krishna consciousness.
yes,
You know.
yes.
Thank you, and it's 9 o'clock. And
Yeah. Thank
anybody has
you.
any comment and
Hare
uh,
Krishna Mate. Hare Krishna Mate.
Krishna Samanare.
This Badrika ashram they are referring here, it must be Badrinath, I think.
Yeah, that's why I say I always think the Badrikashram is Badrinath.
Yeah, Badrika ashram they are referring here is Badrinath, where Uddhava went, but there is a Badrika ashram, some Swamiji settled there and they do their practice. And that is also known as Badrika ashram. But some people say Badrinath to Badrika ashram also, I think. Uddhava went to Badrinath, I think.
Mm.
Not the Badrika ashram that someone long time back settled there and they do their practice meditation there. So, I think Dua went to Badrinath. That the same different name is here, Badrika ashram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just wanted to
yeah. I
clear.
think they're referring to Badri, but yeah,
Yeah,
because they say yeah. You're from India, there's different. But I always think that is a Badrinath.
yeah, it could be. Yeah,
So by Krishna's mercy, I visited that long time ago.
Oh,
From
you went there?
30 years ago, I went to Kedarnath and Badrinath, beautiful
Oh,
place,
God.
and then
I didn't go. My husband went to all four dhams. I didn't.
thank you very much. There's so
Thank
much
you,
about
Mataji.
Uddhava's
Very
glories
nice
that
class. Very nice
yeah,
class. You put lot
we
small,
cannot.
small.
Thank you very much,
I
Mata.
was so happy to learn so much about, by, by talking on this verse about Uddhava, how great devotee he was,
Yeah.
Krishna. And he was next to the gopi, there's a different level. One just above the gopi, one below the gopi. The
Of
gopi
course,
is the topmost.
He is from
And
Ashtavasu, you know. So
yeah,
he deserves that.
and yeah,
It was very nice
yeah.
to hear from you, Mataji. Very nice stories. Katha, very nice. I felt like I was there. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhobhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Now the Vidyavali is sure to go back home back to Godhead because he's so regulated.
Yeah, I am waiting. I am
Hearing about
waiting.
the path about Krishna.
No, I am waiting. You know, I have dreamed this too, Vrindavan. I went there. I had been there once. But again in my lifetime, whether I can go or not, I don't know. So like my wife, Guru Maharaj sent a card to me also. And that card
Oh.
says, everybody has their own this thing. But some people are thinking about Krishna that in the train also, in the traveling also. So wherever we are there, that is Vrindavan. That's all he says.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.